My name is Denzel Edwards, and I will be discussing about the events of the polybrominated biphenyls environmental contamination in Michigan in 1973. In regard to what I will be talking about, we will cover the purpose and observations, what are PBBs, the timeline of the events, the key places affected, as well as the effects of it all, and lastly, the summary to recap the events. So, the purpose of this talk is for better understanding of the polybrominated biphenyls, to report the Michigan BPP incident, as well as how it serves as a cautionary tale. Now, what are PBBs? They are polybrominated biphenyls that are organic pollutants which are man-made chemicals that were used as fire retardants in plastics that were used in a variety of consumer products. The manufacture of those chemical compounds were discontinued in the United States in 1976. Here shows the areas affected by this contamination, which includes St. Louis, Chase, McBain, Lansing, and more. Additionally, this figure shows the map that the Bell-Sickle Superfund sites in St. Louis, Michigan, and the surrounding area that were impacted by the contamination. So now we will talk about the timeline. In 1973, PBB was mistakenly shipped to Michigan Farm Bureau by Velsicle Chemical, mixed into animal feed, and delivered to farms across Michigan. Then in 1974, the farmers reported problems which were then tested for infectious disease. Eventually, farmer Rick Halbert confirmed that animals fed the suspected feed got sick. Discovery of PBP in those feed were found, and the state eventually quarantined 30 farms as a result of that. From 1975 to 1980, the state quarantined over 500 additional farms and condemned the deaths of an astonishing amounts of animals. Then, from 1980 to the present time, the Velsicle Chemical Company estimated about $38.5 million, which were used for cleanup to the contamination. And the long-term health effects of PBB exposure are still being studied still this day. So here is a schematic that shows the pathway of PBB environment contamination. It just shows the overview of the area affected by the event, from how the feed affected the rendering plants to how contaminated feed affected the general population of Michigan consumers. So here are the human health impacts. The immediate health impacts included symptoms such as skin rashes, gastrointestinal issues, headaches, and respiratory problems among individuals exposed to the contaminated food and water. Some people experience more severe health issues, including neurological disorders and reproductive problems. As shown in figure 5, the workers on the site, the workers' family, as well as the farm food family, in comparison to the unaffected individual, you can see that there is a significantly higher mean of the presence of BPL within those individuals, even after 40 years later. Here again, on figure 6, there is a similar trend as seen throughout different age groups as well as gender, in which people exposed to the contamination, even after 40 years, have a higher serum level of PBP, further highlighting the lasting effects of this contamination. Now, this slide shows the pie chart that showcased the deaths of 28,000 cattle, 5,900 pigs, 1.5 million chicken, which was the majority, from and that was done for controlling and minimizing the effects of the event. Now, slide 12 shows a table that shows the PBB uptake from the Pine River, which is found within St. Louis. As you can see, the aquatic life form of the river is shown to be also affected by this contamination. And as a summary, in 1973, a mix-up of Michigan Chemical Company led to the accidental contamination of animal fed with PBB. Due to this error, this led to a widespread contamination of food supplies, water sources, as well as livestock. And the immediate effects occurred on humans, and thousands of animals died as a result. However, this unveiling of the chemical mix-up leading to disaster is not to be forgotten, as it highlights the dangers of inadequate chemical regulation and oversight, prompts regulatory changes, and increase public awareness of environmental and public health risk, as well as demonstrates the need for emergency response preparedness. And as a whole, this acts as a cautionary tale in public health, as it illustrates the interconnectedness of environmental, human, and animal health. Thank you.